Ben McKee, West Rucker, Go Vols 24/7 here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, where Tennessee just beat St. Bonaventure 11-1 in 7 innings. The run rule, which was changed ahead of first pitch, right before first pitch, the run rule was in effect tonight, and it snuck up on everybody because Manny Marin, the freshman infielder, hit a grand slam into the porches to walk off the Bonnies and really capped an awesome night for the freshman. He fractures his nose sliding into second base against Arizona last Sunday in Houston, slid into the second baseman's knee. Did not play in the midweek because of that, was not in the starting lineup last night. And then ho-hum, what does it matter? It doesn't at all, apparently, because it comes out 3 hits, 2 doubles, and a grand slam.
Yeah, he didn't break his bat. I mean, it's funny to me because, baseball is a sport, and Tony Vitello mentioned this a little bit, where you see guys who have power who it doesn't look like they'll have power. I mean, there's some guys that are like Drew Gilbert who are not big, but they're big guys. I remember when I covered the Braves a little bit, like the Giles brothers. When you saw them in the clubhouse, like they're like 5'8" or something, but they're big. Mm-hmm. He is not big. I don't know what he weighs. It looks like he'd be wrestling early in the day if it were in a high school meet, put it that way. But man, the precision on it, the whip on the swing, I mean, that kid is a player. Like Levi Clark is almost sort of setting the bar for resetting the bar for what a freshman maybe can be, like in that Dylan Cruz mold or something. And you forget that they don't normally look like that. They normally look more like Manny does. But Marin, I'll tell you, man, that kid's good, man. That kid's got a future.
Yes, he does, and that's why Tennessee was thankful that he got to campus, because they were nervous during that process. And you are seeing why elsewhere offensively. Dean Curley goes Oppo Taco for a 2-run homer into the bullpen. But we expect that from Dean Curley. So what stands out more to me is that Dalton Bargo is starting to catch fire, and I think it's a result of him being more comfortable, him being more confident this past week. Yeah,
I'll say really quickly on Curley, I'm so impressed by the way that when things aren't going well for him, you don't know it. He already is a pro in that regard. He physically looks like a pro. He acts like one. So when he doesn't field the ball well occasionally, or he has a couple strikeouts, his approach doesn't change. His demeanor doesn't change. And I'm telling you, there are scouts who are going to love that. They're absolutely going to love that. And
same way Tennessee does.
No question about it. And with Bargo, I mean, he's a guy who, a lot of guys get overlooked on this team because there's just so many guys. So you think about maybe the top 2 or 3 guys, and then you kind of just forget about some. He's good. He's a very, very good baseball player who can competently, play 6 spots or so and do them pretty well defensively, and then goes in there from the left side and gives you a nice swing too. And I think if he were a guy who could play every day, all the time, I think by the end of the season he would have really good numbers. But that's just not how it is with this team. You have to share time and you have to thrive within that. And he didn't do it as much last year. A couple big swings late in the year, obviously. But he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, and it was, the explosiveness came late in the game today, but it was a really, really nice night for the offense from top to bottom. Hunter Ensley, Andrew Fisher, Gavin Keelan. Yep. I'm sure I'm leaving others out. And it came against the best pitcher they've faced to date. They faced an SEC arm tonight, a guy that a lot of people think is going to be a first or second round pick in July, and they passed with flying colors. He didn't even make it through the 4th inning.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, because his velo was down a little bit tonight. I don't know if he just those couple extra ticks he just didn't have. I mean, I say that he's throwing 96, 97. I mean,
I saw 98.
There was 98 in there too. But when you hear like 102 and 101 a lot throughout the week, he just he didn't have that gear tonight. But he had good stuff, man, and the ball moves. He's a really, really good pitcher, and he put up a couple, 0 early on Tennessee, and guys are getting to look at him, and you could tell like the ball's getting on him pretty quick, but they make an adjustment. I mean, as good as he is, and he's very good, he is not better than a lot of the top guys Tennessee's players have seen for like months now in practice. And so they're able to kind of calibrate quickly to that and be like, okay, let's see the ball come out of his hand. Let's see a couple breakers. And that's all they need. And then they're dialed in and really good swings. Even Fisher took a non-home run swing tonight to hit a double the other way about 360 feet.
Are we sure it was non-home run? Is he capable of that?
He's Happy Gilmore, man. He only brings the driver. There's nothing else that he's got. He's like, he skips par 3s. He just goes on. He loves the driving range. But I mean, he even chopped down maybe a little bit and sent one the other way to the gap. Just really the mature at bats. People who are seeing this and you've not seen a lot of college baseball in your life and you're just kind of seeing these guys the past couple of years, don't get spoiled by this. The quality of at bats these kids give you is unbelievable. It's just, for their age, they're just so mature at the plate.
We should not be talking about Marcus Phillips 5.5 minutes in. He was just as terrific as the offense. I can't remember exactly last week in Houston. He had 0 walks or 1 walk in Houston last week, and he follows it up with 0 walks tonight. And did give up a leadoff homer, but he bounced back very, very well. And the walk numbers and how low they are right now for Marcus, it really, really sticks out because he is in complete command on the mound right now.
Yeah, he was. And homeboy who hit one off of him today, that guy had like 3 really good at bats in Friday's game, and just, he drew a walk or drew a couple walks, actually the only couple ones that Doyle had, and had some really good at bats. So that guy's a player, you can tell. And he got a Lindsey Nelson special into the right field bullpen. Dean Curley got one later. First 2 of this year maybe that were actual Lindsey Nelson specials, and they were. And but man, when that happens at the first pitch of a game or first batter of a game, you kind of wonder how a guy will respond to that. And Phillips just moved right along, man. The next guy who got on base was like 9 or 10 batters later, and it was because of an error. So, I mean, he's dialed in. There's a reason why I think they're putting him in this position, because they know what he can be. What he's already turning into is really good. But I think them saying, hey, he's our Saturday guy, and they just keep saying that over and over, is almost to tell him too. Like, just go out there and be you. We know you're going to be good. And I think that vote of confidence has done wonders, because he looks fantastic. He can make a lot of money playing this game.
He sure can. And Tennessee's pitching staff, because of a lot of arms, are in a great spot heading into SEC play. Nate Snead looked good for the short amount of time he was out there before the run rule. I'm sure we'll see him again tomorrow, possibly. I guess we'll see what the score of the game looks like. That will, I would assume, dictate whether we see Snead again as Tennessee goes for the sweep tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we'll certainly have all the Tennessee baseball coverage you need at GoVols247.com. He's Wes Rucker. I'm Ben McKee.